What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today, I know it's been a minute since we did a video. We did a bunch of stuff to the Integra clutch. I think I mentioned it all back in the last video. It's back on the road, driving good. Of course, we drove it for one day, had a blowout, so now it has a whole new set of tires. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So today, we're gonna work on the Ford Raptor. So the problem we're having with it is the driver rear door actuator isn't always locking and unlocking. It's getting worse and worse and worse. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that actuator. Let me show you what we got. Here's the actuator. I got it on Rock Auto. It's a fairly easy part to install. Come over here to the door. It's just this whole assembly here. We'll take the door panel off. We should have easy access to it to pull it out and get the new in. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so on this generation F-150, let me show you where the fasteners are on this door panel. Down here, 1, 2, and then underneath this handle, there is this black panel is underneath this. If you get a pick under it on this back corner, pull it away. And then underneath it is another bolt. Those are the only three things holding the panel on. You can see them right here. And for tools so far, what we've used is 5/16 and 1/4 inch nut drivers to get those off, a pick, and a T27 is what we'll use to take out the actual locking actuator. So let's get this door panel off. All right, so after looking at it closer, I've never done the rears, I've only done the fronts before. This was on right here. Just pry this straight off towards you. It'll come off, it just has clips. Once that's off, there's another 1/4 inch bolt here. And then simply all you do is lift up on the panel and pull it out. And then of course there'll be a wiring harness to unhook from here, and the panel should just come off completely. So let's get it off. All right, we got the old one out. Let's talk about it. It was a little bit more invasive than I thought. One, I forgot that I had all this sound deadening in here. I had done that, gosh, I think in 2012, right after I bought the truck in 11. So I had to cut away a lot of that because this was all covered with sound deadening. We got it unbolted on the side with those Torx. And then once we were in here, we had to take loose, let's see here, this long one with the green on the end. That went to the internal door handle. And then this red nub here, this clip, it had another metal bar. You can see it back in there maybe. Anyways, that goes to the outside door handle. And then also the door lock, which this was a pain in the butt. This stays on until you get it removed. The only way I could get it out is the window track was in the way. So it was a 10mm and a 10mm. Push this back as far as you can, and then you can kind of weed it out. So now that it's all out, let's try and get the new one back in. Hopefully it's a much easier process. All right, let me catch you up to where I am right now. So we got those in, those three Torx on the end. Of course, that was pretty easy. In terms of this door lock, what I found was easiest, run this lock down through here, poke it out right here, install it in the actuator. Then with this on it outside the door, we'll swindle that actuator back in through this hole and get these Torx on and get it set. Also, the rod, let's see here, the rod there on that green clip, make sure that rod is not stuck behind the actuator and this backside of this door jamb. I ran into that, had a hard time getting these in, looked in there and realized that was a problem, so I had to take it back off, get that rod out, hook it on, and then get these Torx back in. So now what we gotta do is hook the power back up to it, run this cable back up through here, and kind of just get everything put back together. So let's get it back together and see if it works. All right, so we got the door back together and we went ahead and tested everything and it did not work. So that led into a deeper dive into why it's not working. I got the wiring diagram, checked all the wires. Some of them were dead, didn't seem to be working. So then we did continuity testing, power testing back at the ECU, a whole bunch of stuff. And we finally came to this conclusion. The door harness has broken. One wire, which is the actuator wire, is completely broke through. Two of the other wires are either getting ready to break, or really thin, exposed wires. So we're gonna do a temporary fix on this. I'm gonna have to go to the Ford house and order a completely new door harness. And once that comes in, then we'll get it in. All right, guys, so I don't remember if I showed it or not, but we found a broken wire in the harness, two others that were about to break. I temp repaired them, soldered them, and taped them back up really well. We'll put it back in the door. I will order a new door harness for this entire door to fix it right. I'll order that tonight. But other than that, let's see. You can see everything's working again. So I'm gonna finish putting it back together and then move on to the next project. All right, on to the next project. For a while, my heated seats have been out. The driver's seat went out first. I repaired it years ago. It went out again here recently, and I repaired it again. Basically, the heating seat pads, the wire elements that go across eventually break and short out. Once that does, they just stop working altogether. I got the driver's side done, like I said, about a year ago. Well, my wife is ready to have her heated seat back, so we're gonna get this seat out, get it broke down. I'll let you get a look at it, see how it comes out. It's really easy, and how to kind of get the skin of the seat pulled back, get access to those panels, remove them, put the new panels in, and put it back together. So let's go ahead. To remove the seat, it's just 4 bolts. One here, and the same back in each corner. That'll get the seat out, and then once it's out, we can unplug it. I'll move it back to the tailgate, and we'll work on it back there. So let's go ahead and get it removed. All right, so we got everything loose. I forgot about this. You got to pull this panel off. It's just held in with clips. It'll just pull off if you pull it towards you. And there was one Torx that held the seatbelt on. Unplug this, it'll come out of the way. In the rear, there are these 2 caps that sit over the bolts, and under those caps are both bolts for the rear, the rear frame to get it loose. 16 millimeter for all took them loose. You might, if you've never taken them loose before, find that they come out extremely hard. These do go all the way through the body and are exposed to the undercarriage and weather. I have had mine out before, so when I put them back in, I put anti-seize in them. That way they didn't get locked up or anything, no rust, no issues, and they just came out super easy. So let's get the seat out and get it back to the tailgate. All right, you can see we got the seat out here on the tailgate. In terms of the side plastic, right? This, it goes on right here. It comes off fairly easy. There's a clip here, it clips on here. There's one Torx screw here and another screw back here, but it screws from the back side. So you're gonna have to loosen up all this stuff, this back piece. They just clip on. They just have, gosh dang it. It's just a pressure fit on here like this. Once you get that off, then you can kind of go around and take all these off here, here, here. And then, I don't remember if I take this one off or not. I don't think so. This is just loose. And then we're gonna be able to peel this back, and we'll get to the heating pad, and I'll show you that once I got it off. All right, you can see here we got the leather pulled back. Right off the bat, you'll see burn marks. Burn mark here, all burnt under there. This is what happens. They short out. They get hot. It's really a miracle these things don't catch fire. But that one break there will stop this whole entire seated heat from working. To get to this point, so we pulled it away. You just work it from the corners, get it back to here. This hard plastic piece will have 3 hog rings holding it down. These here. I find it easier to get some dikes, twist them and pull. They'll come loose. You'll have to put new hog rings in with hog ring pliers. And then this loop section goes to this hook section on both sides. It'll just pull away its Velcro. This one came completely loose. I'm gonna have to glue it back down. That's easy enough. But now that that's out, These are just kind of glued down as well, these pads. So we'll pull the pad out. Here are the replacements. I don't think I'm gonna do the back. The backs typically never fucking break. So I don't think we'll do the back, but we will do the base. And these are Ford parts. I always recommend getting Ford parts. I got these at the dealer. I forget, I think they were about $29 a piece. I think they're a lot more expensive now, but when I bought them, I bought 2 sets because I had known this was a problem, so I was gonna have to do it again. So we'll get this one pulled up, we'll get this new one in and start getting it back together. All right, guys, so we got that done. We got that seat back in. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We did a test, we tested it out. It's working good, it's heating up nice. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, there it is, back in the truck. We vacuumed under it really good, got it super clean, might as well while it's out. Got all these plastics back on, seat belts hooked back up. Again, tested it, works good, nice and warm. Clean it off a little bit there. Like I mentioned earlier, before we put the bolts back in, anti-seized all 4 of them. That way they don't get super corroded and nasty. Got everything put back on, all the trim work. This stuff, so this trim you want to be really delicate with. The driver's side, I've replaced the trim twice already. One, because it's the driver's seat, it gets used the most, right? Especially these bolsters. The last time I did these seats, I actually even replaced this bottom foam on it because this side bolster had gotten worn out so bad that when I sat down, it had pushed this out a bunch and had broke a bunch of clips and broke this plastic. This was hanging off, so I replaced I placed the foam base in the driver's seat. All this plastic work, all this stuff got replaced with all new trim panels. But anyway, so when you do remove this stuff and you do put it back on, be cautious. This plastic after time just gets brittle, gets worn out, and it tends to break clips. But we got it all back on. It looks good. It's working perfect, and it should make my wife happy on long trips, having that warm seat. So there that is. That project's done. The next project should be the Z31, getting the fuel injectors in it and getting the top end of that motor back together and see if we can't get it started. Possibly maybe this in between it, the truck, since I'm gonna have to order a new door harness for that door over there and swap that harness out. I may or may not do a video on that. I mean, there's not much to see there other than just pulling that harness out and putting the new harness in. But hopefully that Z31 will be the next project. Also, the Razor, we did a bunch of work on it. Here, we can look at it if we want. Let's go over to it. So the Razor, the battery had gone completely flat, so we went and put a new battery in it. And then I changed out all of this here. I got rid of all the old style rockers. Of course, these 2 rockers stayed. These are the factory ones from Polaris, the headlights, all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. This I added. This is just 2 USB ports, but I did an aux beam flush mount switch panel. So that's in here, super nice and tidy. I like the way that looks. I like the way it works a lot better. And then under the hood, I used to have a fuse block, an aftermarket fuse block that I'd put in it, but we did away with that since the new system has breakers. So we have a master breaker, which I just leave off unless I'm using it, just as it shouldn't be an issue, but one last step just to keep from having a drained battery. And then of course under here is all your digital relays. So there's no relays anymore. It's all built into this box. And then it's just super easy to hook them up and it all goes to that control panel, nice and tidy. So we got that installed. And I did that all off camera. I could have made a video, but it was one of those things where I just kind of came out here and just got it done one day just to have it done. So the Razor's ready for trails. But again, thanks for watching. Of course, we got lots of projects in the background, like we're getting ready to do a garage sale, so we got stuff everywhere. But again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. It helps a lot, especially those likes. Man, those likes go a long ways. Trying to build this channel, trying to do more videos. I say that every time, but we're gonna try and get some more out. But again, I appreciate it, and can't wait to see y'all next time.